Just waiting for it to load up. Once it tells me it's recording, we'll get started. Welcome, West Virginia. Welcome, UK. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Today is part 3 of our 4-part series webinar with special guest, trainer, entrepreneur, professional trainer, professional entrepreneur. Has been in the business for a very long time. He's a great trainer, has his own program. Please check out RyanGuinness.com. And I want to thank him for being here. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to share this information with you. The information he's going to share today is going to definitely open a lot of eyes. I've seen his programs. I'm subscribed to his emailing system, and I've received a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration with those emails. So that being said, I want to thank him for being here, allowing him to share his experience with us. No other than the professional MLM team recruitment specialist, Mr. Ryan Guinness. Thank you.
Ramon, how you doing?
Doing all right, buddy. Thank you.
Cool. I'm coming across loud and clear.
Yes, you are.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks for having me on here. I hope your peeps are getting some good value. So, pretty excited about this training here because one of the things I'm going to cover in this training here is pretty much a simple way to never be out of leads ever, or people to talk to, or people to approach. You know, so in the last couple of sessions that we did, I shared, you know, organizing your personal contacts and going after your personal contacts as a first step to launch your business, to get some experience if that's new for you, okay, and then a simple way to, you know, to follow up with those people, okay. Now, at some point, if you're looking to go into hyper gear into your business, you're gonna want to be able to reach people that you don't know. There's more people that you don't know than you do know, right? So I'm gonna touch on that, and in fact, let me just fly up here to this slide. Oh, family over here, nice. So I entitled this the MLM No Excuse Launch Formula, and one of the reasons why I did that was a couple of years ago, I had a very interesting situation. One of my customers called me up and they asked me if I knew a certain person, and I was like, yeah, I know that person. There was once a customer of mine, and you know, the guy was sharing with me. He said, hey, you know, this person made some mistakes, and they had to do a few months in a low facility security facility, and they wanted to figure out how to build a business from the inside. So I was like, whoa, that's a strange request. I said, well, have them call me up and we'll have a conversation. So you know, they called me up and we had a conversation about it, and you know, he connected me to his wife. And I said, okay, well, let's see if we could do this. I said, you got to set up a Google Voice. He set up a Google Voice. So while he was in this facility where he had to stay for a few months, he actually was calling from a payphone through a calling card to a Google Voice and making phone calls from the strategy that I'm going to teach. And he was getting prospects and had his wife on the outside sending emails and doing follow-ups and all that stuff. And he was able to build a team while he was doing a few months, and it was a very interesting story. I've never heard of that anywhere else. So, no excuses, no excuses. Okay, so I talk about eyeballs on the presentation. That's our job. You know, our job is to get eyeballs on the presentation, follow up with those people, see if they have an interest, answer questions, get them in front of more information. Percentage of people are going to join, become a customer, join your team. Then you're going to show them how to get eyeballs on the presentation, repeat the process. So in this training, I'm going to cover going after network marketers. I'm going after people that have business in the past. Reasons why I believe this is a good market to go after. Number one is they you know, network marketers, they understand, if they've been around network marketing for any length of time, they understand, what it takes to build a business, or at least they've heard what it takes to build a business. And number two, network marketers can boost the chance of you finding leaders in your business, because most network marketers knows top earners in different programs if they've been around the industry. So that's one of the reasons why I say go after network marketers. All right, and another statistic is sometimes people tell me, well, why would I go after network marketers? Aren't they involved in a business already? And that's really not always the case. You see, 90% of the people that get involved in network marketing never go on to build a big business. So depending when you connect with that person, they may not even be involved in a business, or they may have been inactive for so long that they're not really even connected to something. So you're not really asking them to leave their deal and come to your deal, because some people have an issue with that. Okay, so so I wanted to kind of touch on that for a second. Now, if you have a list of network marketers, they're going to fall into what I call the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's. So if you're taking notes, this is something to write down: the A's, B's, C's, and D's. Okay, let's say you have a list of 10,000 contacts of people that have joined a network marketing business in the past. About 2% of that list, very small percentage, are high quality people that have built a business in the past, top earners. Okay, 3% build a so-so business. 5% again build a so-so business, maybe a couple thousand a month, and then 90% of that list really haven't built a business before. Okay, so the odds are you're going to be speaking to a lot of C's and D's. Okay, now these people know A's and B's. Okay, not everybody have a real strong relationship with the A or B, but if you work this source well enough, that's how you can get to the A's and B's. Once in a while, you'll run across the A or B directly, but most of the times, at least in my career, this is how I connected to the high-income people and recruited them into my team, was through somebody that introduced me to them. All right, and this is kind of what it looks like. So the A's, built a big team before. B's, C's, D's. Okay, and going after network marketers is kind of like this guy over here, fishing in a pool where the fish is attracted to your bait. They are attracted to an opportunity to make more money. They are they're attracted to that whole conversation that we have in network marketing. Okay, so if you're going to go into the cold market where you don't know people, I say go after network marketers. It's the best use of time. Just like if you ran a football team and you needed somebody that can kick a 50-yard field goal, then the best use of time is to talk to people that have a track record of kicking 50-yard field goals. If you can't find those people, talk to football players and see if they can lead you to somebody that plays that position and can kick a 50-yard field goal. All right, so so here's a formula that you can do right now. When we get off this call, you can go on to Google. So if you're hearing me right now, you obviously have access to the internet, so you already qualify for the strategy. You can go onto Google, and here's a little formula. This is how it kind of works inside of Google. You're going to do a search term. The search term, you're going to put in the name of an MLM company. It doesn't matter if it's a new company or old company. In fact, it works better with older companies. Okay, so you put in the name of a company that existed, even if they closed down in the past. You're going to put in the plus sign, the word call me, and then an area code. So like an area code, like a 3-digit area code, and then you're going to follow that by 7 stars. Okay, it doesn't have to have dashes or anything. Basically, Google is going to use this as a wildcard to make up for the rest of the phone number. So if this was the name of a network marketing company, plus call me, plus 570, and then you put in a bunch of stars, and you did a search in Google, it'll find people that are involved with this company or have been involved in the past, and it'll find links that contain their phone number. It's going to find closer. Not every single result is going to start with the 570, but it's going to find people. It's going to find a bunch of phone numbers. Okay, and then you have an easy way that you can reach out to those people, which I'm going to touch on, to start making phone calls. So really and truly, without any sophisticated, I have a whole membership site where we actually get all the data and we give it to everybody with the name and the phone numbers and all that stuff, so you don't have to do these searches. But even if you didn't have all that, if all you just did was go onto Google every day, do a couple searches, say, hey, I got 20 minutes, I'm going to make some phone calls. Even if you have a full-time job, you can, the night before, you can do a search, print out 20, 25 phone numbers. While you're on your lunch hour, you make 20, 25 phone calls. Very, very simple. Anybody could do this. You could teach your team to do this. Now, what do you say? This is what I get all the time. What am I going to say to these people? Well, if you're calling people that you don't know, that they don't have your number stored in their phone, they never had a conversation with you, most of the times it's going to go to voicemail. People don't normally answer the phone for people that they don't know. Plus, depending on if they're busy or not, they may not answer your call. So it's going to go to voicemail high percentage of the time. And this is the voicemail. Very simple message, which is the truth. Here's the voicemail. So let's say I was calling John, and I get John's voicemail, and it says, hey, this is John, leave me a message. I get his voicemail. I'm going to say, hey, John, this is Ryan Gunnis. I came across one of your sites. I have a quick question. When you have a chance, give me a call. My number is blah, 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 blah. Very simple message. It is the truth. I came across one of his sites because I did a search online, and I do have a quick question. I'm not lying. I'm not saying, hey, I came across one of your sites. Love your business. Would love to join and work with you. That would be lying. Okay? I'm doing a very vague message to create some curiosity, and a percentage of people will call me back. Now, when John calls me back, what do I say, right? Again, I'm going to keep it truthful and direct to the point. So John calls me back. This is the invitation pitch. So this is what I would say. John calls me back. He says, Ryan, hey, I got your message. What can I do for you? I say, hey, John, reason I'm calling you, I'm expanding my business. I'm in network marketing. I believe that you've been involved in the past. So wanted to kind of touch base and see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. Very simple. You don't have to say it word for word the way I just said it, but figure out the words that work for you and just be truthful. Tell them, hey, I'm expanding my business. I'm in network marketing. I believe you were, because I found you on a site that, for a network marketing company in the past, right? I believe you've been in the industry, and I just wanted to touch base and see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. Okay. Now, at that point, John is going to come back with one of three answers. He's going to say, no, I'm done with network marketing. Haven't done that in a long time, and not interested. No problem, John. Have a nice day. Or John will come back and say, it depends what you have. Send me some information. And at that point, I'll get his information, and and I'll cover that in a little bit further. Okay. Or John may say something of this nature. He may say that maybe he'll say, Ryan, I'm involved in the business already. I'm very happy, so not really looking to do anything else. I'll say, hey, no problem, and I have a transition for that too as well. Or sometimes John may not even remember what network marketing is. A lot of people get involved in network marketing. They don't even know the word network marketing. They didn't show up to trainings like you guys are doing. They didn't invest in their education, and they never took the business seriously. So they don't even know what that word means. So he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And depending on the energy, you get to decide if you want to go further with John. So if John sounded, just really like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And he sounded really just low energy, I'd say, hey, you know what, John, I must have had the wrong number. Sorry. Have a nice day. If John comes back with some good energy, hey, I'm not sure what you're doing. I'm not really sure what that means. I'll say, hey, listen, maybe you got involved with something in the past, and if you're open-minded, I could send you some information. It's an opportunity that I'm part of. You could review it if it makes work again. John says, hey, send it to me. Get a good email. So you get to decide. So a lot of times when, based on the energy of that person, and if they sound like they're just really low, I just say, hey, I must have had the wrong phone number, and I move on because I have other people to call. Okay, and if you guys have questions about this, go ahead and write it down because when we open up for questions, I'll take some questions on this. So if you have questions, go ahead and write that down. All right, now, very important. So John says yes, I'm open. I'll take a look. Okay, you want to make sure and get a good email address. Take the time to, you know, I do the I forget what you call it, the phonics system. So John's giving me his email, like E for Edward, you know, J for John, U for umbrella. I'm making sure I capture that email address properly, and then I set the appointment right up, and I think this is important. Now, in the beginning, you may forget to setting the appointment up. If you're new to this, you'll just be excited that you got a yes. You'll get the person's email address, and you're gonna forget to set the appointment up. We've all been there. You know, I've done it. You know, myself back in the days, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just continue to work through the process and improve your skills. Without setting the appointment up, it makes it very, very hard to get back in touch with John. Because John don't know me, and there's no sense of urgency for him to rush to his computer and look at my presentation so that he can call me back. There's no sense of urgency. He's just kind of like, okay, I'm curious, send it to me. Sending me an email is not going to hurt. Okay, so this is very, very key. So John says, okay, Ryan, I'll take a look. I get his email address. I say, hey, John, I'm going to send you the email. It's going to come from my email, ryangunnis@gmail.com. And the subject line is I'm going to put per our conversation, so you'll know what to look out for. He says, cool. I said, in that email, I have a little link. It will take you to a little video. It's about 10 minutes. If I was to send you that email right now, when do you think you'll have a chance to take a look at it? So John now has to think, and he'll come back and say something like, I could probably look at it later on tonight, or I could look at it tomorrow morning. And based on his response, then I'm going to say, so let's say John says I could look at it tomorrow morning. I'll say, okay, cool, John. So if we connected back at sometime tomorrow afternoon, would you have looked at it for sure? Now John has to think, and he's going to say, yeah, I would have looked at it for sure. Or he could adjust it, and he could say, well, you know, I might be a little bit busy in the morning, but I could definitely look at it by tomorrow afternoon. So again, you have to play with this. You have to listen. So John says, yeah, I would have looked at it for sure. I say, cool, let's do this to save a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and set up a time to get back on the phone for a few minutes tomorrow evening. Obviously, if there's no interest at all after checking out the email, just shoot me back an email that it's not a fit for you, and we don't have to keep the appointment. So John has an easy way out. He doesn't have to hide from me. And John says, that's cool. I said, what's a good time? He tells me, I could talk at 3. I look at my calendar and I say, okay, cool, 3 works. And you also pay attention to the time zone. So you have to make sure that you know which time zone John is, or confirm that. And we get a nice appointment in the calendar. And then I say, cool. If I don't hear back from you, I'm going to take it on with a firm appointment. And, hopefully this is a good fit. And I'll look forward to talking to you. That's it. Again, I'm not giving you any scripts because I want you to get the concept. I firmly believe, after working with thousands of people in this process, that if you understand the concepts, you will develop the right language to get that message across. Sometimes I see too many people rely so much on scripts that they never learn anything. Okay, I'm not against scripts. Scripts are great for guidelines and guidance, but I am against a script as a magic bullet or a magic solution to learning. Okay, and sometimes people, don't want to take the time to learn, and the only way you're going to learn is to get in the water and kick your feet. Get on the phone, make some phone calls. The only way you're going to learn to swim, right? Get in the water, kick your feet. So I want to drill that point in because I, again, firmly believe that from this training here, anybody can make some phone calls today, connect with some people. Do you have to live in this activity forever? No. As you build a business and as you get better at connecting and working with people and seeing who they know, because let's say John gets involved, John may, and this has happened many, many times, John may know people in network marketing. John may say, hey, I built a team of 10 people before, and he starts contacting some of his old contacts. John may say, hey, I got to introduce you to Mary. She was my upline in another program that doesn't exist anymore, and Mary built a team of 3,000 people. Do you think you want Mary on your team? Yes. Okay, and John is a good connection to help lead you to other people. Okay, so that's the concept of working through people, and that's, you always want to be mindful of that. Who can they lead you to? So I touched on if he was happy with his company. So if John said, hey, Ryan, I appreciate the call, but I'm happy with the company I'm with. I'm really trying to stay focused. Here's a couple ways to make a transition. I might say, so, and by the way, on our next call, I may do some of these calls live and call some prospects, and you guys get to hear everything that I'm teaching here in real life. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to throw it out as a side note. But let's say John says that he's happy with his company. I would say, oh, cool, no problem, not trying to distract you. What company are you with? People love to talk about their company. John is going to say, hey, I'm with the ABC Juice Company. Oh, really? Okay, cool. How long have you been doing that? Oh, I've been with them for 2 years. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And then I'll say, hey, listen, and you could do this however it makes sense to you, but the way I like to say it, I would say, hey, John, are you in building mode right now? Meaning, if I had people, with network marketing experience that wanted to take a look at what you're doing, are you in a good position to work with new people? What do you think John is going to say to that? He's going to say yes, right? Anybody that says, hey, I have people to join your business, you're going to say, sure, bring it on, right? So John is going to say, yeah. And I say, cool, I have a little system. This is kind of how I found you. I have a little training that I do that helps me find people just like you. And if you want, I can send you some information on that, and maybe it'll help you with your ABC business. John says, cool. Why do you think I would do something like that? Think about that. I know this is kind of a one-way presentation right now, but think about it. The reason that I do that is that I want to be connected to John. John is happy with his business. He's in the industry. He may know other network marketers. Right now, he doesn't really know me. So if there's any real problems going on, this is not a good time for him to share that with me. So I use the marketing system, and I have a marketing system. But even if you don't have a marketing system, you could take this training that you're learning right now and put together a one-page Word document explaining how to do the search on Google and how to leave a voicemail and a couple lines of how to use the script, put together one page, and that could be your training that you could send to John. Okay, you can get fancy and create a little video around it if you want to do that. Up to you. But it could be as simple as a one page of your notes on how to find network marketers and what to say to them, just like you're learning right now. Okay, you send that to John and you let him know, hey, if you have any questions, or I would love to get your thoughts on it, and you let that go out to him, and you use that as a connection point, so you can follow up with John and say, hey, I just want to touch base, get your thoughts on that training, and now you know how I found you. Thank you, Google. And you can have some fun with it. And what happens, and I've seen this time and time again, that I've seen situations where just doing that opens up the door where John will either come back to me saying, hey, I'm open to looking at something. Things are not working out so good, or the company just made some changes, and the team is getting flat, or whatever it is. I've seen situations where John will come back, or or depending on the products or services that you have, there may be situations to say, hey, John, I know you focus on your business, but I think you might enjoy some of the products that we have, and love to send you some information, get your feedback, because now you're warmed up with that person, so you can do stuff like that. All right, so have something in place that if the person is involved in a business already, you have something that you can add value to their life. If they're telling you that they're involved in a business and they focus on it, then obviously sending them some piece of information on how they can get more people for their business is something that they have a good chance of saying, I'll take a look at that. And especially if I say, by the way, that's how I found you. So the stuff that I'm sending you, the information I'm sending you is going to show you how I found you. So just even out of curiosity, people say, I'll take a look at that just to find out how you found them, right? Everybody wants to know how you found them. All right, so back to the basics again. So you do that enough to create eyeballs on the presentation. Okay, you set appointments, you follow up, you get them in front of more information, percentage of people join and buy, and then you teach them to do the same thing. So the same exact process that you did to find them, you can do that. But I would say, go back to video 1 and 2 of our training, and as somebody joins your business, cover some of the points of them organizing their contacts and reaching out to some of their contacts to get some experience and to get the word out. Okay, and you have to take a gauge of who you're recruiting and see what's the best game plan for them. Again, I believe you'll figure out all those things, because if you're clear in your mind, it's eyeballs on the presentation, and you're clear about following up and getting more information in front of people, you'll figure out this whole process. That's the beautiful thing. If you take the swimming analogy, if you get someone in the pool and they don't know how to swim and they're kicking their feet, okay, and they figure out how to move in the water a little bit, you don't have to teach them how to swim under the water. You don't have to teach them how to do the breaststroke. You don't have to teach them how to dive in the pool. They'll figure out all those things. And they'll come up with their own style, and they'll have their own way of kicking off in the water and their own little style. And the beautiful thing, if they're on your team, you override that, right? And that's the beautiful thing about this industry. So, couple of emails that you can model. So for your team, and even for people like John that, let's say, said no to the business but open to looking at your marketing training, you want to have some follow-up emails in place. Again, more tips, breaking down something. So if you had the Word document, you might have another email saying, hey, I actually did a little video explaining this. Okay, and then you can take more tips. And as you learn great things, take your notes, okay, and say, how can I put that into some notes that I can share? And those make good emails. Okay, every once in a while, let's say it's somebody that like John that didn't join your business, every once in a while you can reach out to them or by email, say, hey, we have actually we have an interesting call going on today that talks about the product. I think that you might want to check out that call. You might learn some tips on how to present your products. You will be surprised how many prospects I have invited in my career in network marketing. I have invited them to come to my presentation, and I shared with them the reason to come to my presentation is to learn some tricks on how they can promote their business. Because I'm going to be respectful. They told me they're involved in something already. Cool. I'm not, looking to, to steal them away from their company. If they're happy, cool. I believe there's a very, very big ocean here, so we don't have to force people to join us. But I've shared with them, and I truly believe that they can learn something even from watching our presentation. So I've invited tons of prospects saying, hey, John, I know you're focused on your business. Hey, we have a cool presentation going on tonight. There's a special speaker. I think, it's really for our team, but I could sneak you on this call, and I think you might learn some tips for your business. So if you want to check it out, I can get you that. I can sneak you on that call. And I've had prospects say, yeah, get me on that call. And they check it out, and then they end up, not all the time, but they, in a lot of cases, in some cases, they've ended up coming back to me saying, hey, it was really interesting. I did learn some things, but, can you tell me more about how the money works with this? Or, how does that product work? And it opens up questions, and it could lead to good things. All right, so don't have to be super. You don't have to have a production studio. You can create these little tidbit emails for follow-up, adding value. If it's your team, same thing. You're adding value, inviting them to the next training calls, etc., etc. All right. Here's a little analogy, visual analogy. So let's say let's say we were in person. Let's say we were in a room together, whatnot, and I had a bucket full of marbles. Okay, and I said to you, I put the bucket in front of you. And you have a nice big table with a bin and everything. And I said, hey, you have 1 minute to find any marble that is green. Okay, and for every marble that is green, I give you $100. You got 1 minute. Go. What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to take your time and pick up one marble at a time and say, this is red. I wonder why it's not green. And you'll play with it while the clock is going. Or are you going to just dump all the marbles out? So as soon as you find green, you're just pushing them to the side, pushing them to the side. Are you going to try to find as many green? Of course you would, right? That's our job in network marketing. We're looking for the green. We have to go through a lot of marbles to find the green. And my invitation question of saying, hey, I just want to touch base with you and see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. That is a quick way to help sort. Because if somebody says, maybe, that means, for me, they have a little bit of green. Doesn't mean that they joined, but they have a little bit of green on them. And we'll see if it's a full green. I don't know yet. But if I don't have a way to identify those greens, then I'm not going to find any green. Okay, so that's why that invitation question is so important, because you're going to use that for your career in network marketing. If you're going to take this business seriously, you got to have a way to make a simple invitation. That's people that you know, people that you don't know, people that you're going to meet, people that you're going to meet from other people, etc., etc. And for me, it always sounds something like that. If I'm touching base with somebody, I like to use touch base. So if I'm reaching out to somebody, even if I don't know them that deep and there's some connection, I'm going to say, hey, I thought about you, wanted to touch base, I'm working with something, want to see if you might be open to taking a look. Okay, and you got to work through those numbers. All right, now, outside of this, we have some other creative tools that we developed that you can use. You can swipe. Okay, and we found that it creates a leverage way to utilize pretty much free real estate. So here is an example of one. It's a sign that goes on the back window of your car. Okay, and it's a simple sign, and it says earn more money today, call now, listen to a 3-minute message. Has a little phone number with an extension. We have a whole system set up that makes this easy, but I mean, you could set this up yourself. Do your homework. It's easy. Okay. Now, the person calls in. Okay. Now, this is kind of the magic of our system, but I still want to give you value that even if you don't have some of the tools that we have, you can still make this work. The magic is that when the prospect calls in, because the magic to the sign here is if somebody sees your sign, let's say they're driving behind you, okay, and they see the sign, it's easier for them to call to listen to a 3-minute message than to go to your website. Okay, I hope you can agree with that. So that's one of the reasons you want to have a step that's easy for the average person to do after reading your sign. So if they're driving, it's easy for them to call. If the car is parked, it's easy for them to call. You know, if they're while they're going. I have people that park their cars in front of Walmart, you know, and leave the car there for the day to generate leads, and then they come back and pick up the car in the evening. Okay, and prospects walking into Walmart, read the sign and call the number. All right, so person calls in, they hear a 3-minute message. Okay, and we developed a little technology that at the end of the message, and it's a message that we've developed as well. It says, if you like what you heard so far, we invite you to listen to our full presentation, and just for your time, we're going to give you a $50 rewards cash gift card. Press 1 if you want to receive a text message with that link. Person presses 1, and then the system sends them a text message with your link to the presentation that we want them to watch, built into a little funnel that that gives them the gift card and gets a survey and all that stuff. I don't want to go too deep with it. But even without that sophistication, if all you did was recorded a little 3-minute message, okay, and at the end of the message, you said, hey, if you like what you heard so far, leave your name and number of the tone. I'm going to send you out some more information. You make some type of call to action, okay, and if you just did that, then you will get a percentage of leads, and you can still call back to people that did not leave a message. But in our experience, the foolproof way is kind of with the text message and some of the technology stuff that we added to this. All right, now outside of that, drop cards. Okay, again, free real estate. I just talked to a member of ours that's in New York. I talked to her a couple of weeks ago. She's in New York. She does not own a car, and she had reached out to me a couple months ago, and she's like, hey, I don't know if I should get this. I don't have a car. And I'm like, well, do you know anybody with a car? And she's like, yeah, well, my mom is in Brooklyn. She has a car. Her girlfriend is in Long Island. And I said, yeah. Asked them if they would do you a favor and put the sign in the car for them. She said, yeah. So she did that. Her mom put a sign in the car. Her girlfriend put a sign in the car in Long Island. And prospect called the girlfriend's car and went through the process, looked at the business and everything. And the prospect decided to join, and the prospect had network marketing experience. So before she was going to join, she asked my member, whose car was that? I know you live in New York. And she's like, that's my girlfriend's car. And the prospect says, is your girlfriend in the business? And she said, no. She's like, well, you should sign her up because I'm going to join. So my member calls back her girlfriend and says, hey, this girl's excited. She's built a team before and she wants to join. Thank you for putting the sign in your car. I mean, I can recruit her myself, or if you want to look at the business again, I'll give you that option. So her girlfriend looks at the business and joins. It was so funny. That was one of the funniest stories that I had. But the point is, you and your team, if you have a tool like this on your car, it's working 24 hours a day. Okay, so it's better than nothing. Drop cards. Looks like a little $100 bill, and you leave it wherever you go. You leave a couple behind. Don't litter. Just leave a couple behind. Leave it on the counter. You pump gas. Drop one on the floor. Leave a couple behind. It catches people's attention. They think it's money. They open it up, and they see a little message. Get paid daily. Earn extra money. Call to listen to a 3-minute message, and a percentage of people call. Okay, and we have a lot of funny stories of people calling this 3 o'clock in the morning and turning it into signups with people. People find it all over the place. We hear all the funny stories. Okay, so it's I like these pieces because they're fun, they're low cost. Anybody on your team can do this. Okay, and the same thing with the drop cards. It's kind of fun. Even my kids sometimes like to play with it, and leave it somewhere. So I think it's fun. But even without these tools, don't expect to go build a huge business just with assigning your car on drop cards. At the end of the day, you still got to pick up the phone, make contacts, meet new people, look for the green. Okay, if you're going to take your business seriously. Now, a lot of people in your team, even if they are not at the level where they want to run real hard or pick up the phone and make phone calls, then it's easy to teach them to put a little sign on their car and use these drop cards, because they're not willing to do anything more than that anyway at this point, and that's okay. But at least they have something generating lead. Even if this was one new prospect a month, that's one more than they would have gotten if they're not going to do any other activity anyway. Does that make sense? Cool. So with that, I will open up, for any questions. We can revisit the script or anything you guys want to chat about. Ramon, if you want to chime in, you can chime in too as well.
I actually got a funny story to tell you.
Love stories. Tell me.
First of all, that story was phenomenal. I mean, she killed two birds with one stone. She ended up using her friend to get the sign up, and that friend ended up signing up anyway. So it was like,
yep.
Wow, it was awesome. The great story.
Yeah, and she had no intention to try to recruit her friend. The prospect, because the prospect had built a business in the past and they understood network marketing, the prospect was the one that made the suggestion and said, hey, I don't care if it's you or your girlfriend, So it's so funny that the prospect was pushing her to go call a friend,
Another story was, believe it or not, yesterday I was driving. I was on my way to Home Depot, and I received a call from a lady. I swear she used the same script that you just mentioned. She's from New Hampshire. Her name is Stephanie. That's all I know right now. She did send me the presentation yesterday. I said I was going to take a look at it. I haven't taken a look at it. And by all means, I go in the email today. It's there. It's sitting there. But she used that same exact script that you just said. I'm like, you know what? It's got to be one of her. It's got to be one of his. Yeah,
it probably is.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love to hear those kind of stories. But
yeah, she said the script exactly how you said it. Hey, Ramon Escalera, I see your network marketing opportunity. I see you in network marketing opportunity in the past. I just wanted to see if you wanted to. No, she said exactly how you said it. I didn't read the whole thing, but she says, right. I want to see if you're open to taking a look at. I said, sure, not a problem. I said, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'll be more than happy to. And then she goes, is your email so and so? I said, yes, it is. She goes, okay, well, that's great. Nice to meet you. I'm going to go ahead and send that out to you. There is a survey on there as well, just to let me know how you feel about it once you finish watching the presentation. And voila, that's what she said. And I said, okay. And I didn't go to the email yet, but man, it was identical. The first thing I said, Ryan must have taught this lady this script because man, it hurt.
Yeah.
Because you're not harassing them. You're not harassing them. You're just asking basic questions. And that's it. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to say, I mentioned it earlier on, but you get to decide if you want to ask the question. If somebody calls you back, you left them the voicemail, they call you back, you left them this message over here, hey, so-and-so, came across one of your sites, got a quick question. Sometimes people don't listen to your voicemail. Call. They call you back and they're like, who this? You call my phone. What do you want? And they sound like that's how people. Some people do that. I say, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, man. I think I had the wrong number. I'm not even going to ask my question. Okay, because I'm looking for me personally. I'm looking for people with nice energy. I'm looking for people that have respect for other people. So if you're calling back a missed call, common courtesy is like, hey, I missed a call. I don't recognize your number, so I was just returning the call. What can I do for you? That's how I would expect anybody to return a missed call. Especially somebody that might have some business experience. But even if somebody doesn't have any business experience at all, just common courtesy, that's how you would return a call. So if somebody can't do that, or they're having such a bad day that they they couldn't do something like that, then today is not the day for me to talk to you. So I'm sorry I got the wrong number. Okay, I'm just looking for the people that have some decent courtesy.
You're looking for the green marbles.
Looking for the green marbles, and it doesn't feel weird. I don't even feel like I'm cold calling. When that word is not even there in my mind, anymore. So just like if I dumped the marbles in front of you, okay, and you were sorting it to find the green, you wouldn't hold a red marble up and be like, oh man, I feel so rejected. It's like, why is this not green? It's all me. I always get the red marbles. My life sucks. You wouldn't say that. And if you did say that, then there's a lot that needs to be worked on. And you got to do that if you want to go to the next level in your life, right?
Correct. I mean, that's a great.
Cool.
I believe in what you just said there. I believe it so heartily myself. I mean, the information is online publicly because they were in network marketing opportunity, or they're still in network marketing opportunity. So that information is public because they have their website out there for people to find it with their info. So, I mean, that strategy that you shared with us, gives us access to that information, by just following that strategy there. So, I mean,
yeah.
That's how I feel. So.
Yeah, and even if you were using terms of companies that no longer exist, sometimes when you reach out to those people, they are involved with a new company. So if you say, oh, I'm just going to call companies that no longer exist, you'll still get people that are involved with other companies now. So it's a numbers game. You got to go through the numbers. The only objection someone could say to me here is, well, I'm brand new to network marketing. I don't even know what some of the other companies that's been around. And I would say the same Google that you're using here, do some search. Put names of network marketing companies, a list of companies that are in network marketing, and you'll find lists of companies. Okay. Again, in my other system, we do all this work for you and everything, but I want to make this so dummy proof that you can leave here and just do some searches and go make some phone calls and be okay with, I'll figure this out as I go. You'll notice I say that a lot. I want you to figure it out as you go. I think there's more learning that can happen, but you have to be okay with saying, you know what, again, I'm speaking to the person that this is like completely foreign. That you have to be okay saying, you know what, I believe in this business enough. I believe in myself enough that I am going to take the time to try to figure this out. So I'm going to contact some people. Now, if you have been following my training in the video 1 and 2, you should have gotten some practice by now with people that you know. Okay, which should be easier to talk to, but it gives you a chance to at least make an invitation and get a little comfortable with this process. So if you decide that you want to reach out to the cold market, you're not starting from scratch. You have some experience. Cool.
You have a question for Tamara Irvin. She says, "Can you put the voicemail script back up?" Guess you want
voicemail script. Okay. There's a voicemail script. Let them know the truth. Came across one of your sites. Have a quick question. My number is blah 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 blah. So just let them know the truth, and that's why I said, let them know the truth, because you don't need a script to remember the truth.
You're right.
You don't need a script. The same thing. If they answer the phone or they call you back, you really don't need a script to tell them the truth. So they call you back or they answer the phone, tell them the truth. Why are you calling them? You're calling them to expand your business, right? So you let them know, I'm expanding my business. I'm in network marketing. I believe that you were involved in the past. That's why I was calling you, and wanted to see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. That's really the truth of why you're calling them. So just tell them the truth. Okay? And you can reword that to a way that you would say that, but tell them the truth. You know, my very first mentor that was teaching me this, 20 plus years ago, didn't give me any rebuttals or anything like that. I had one little script to work off because I was only working off of voicemails, and at that time I was calling people out of the white pages. So sometimes I would get someone say, well, where did you get my number from? And I would say, from the white pages. I'm just calling people in the area here because we're expanding in this area, and just wanted to touch base and see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. And I told them the truth, and what the prospect says. They couldn't say anything. They didn't say, "Oh, I can't believe you called me from the white pages." I never got that. In their mind, they were just like, "Oh, okay." They might be saying, "At least the guy's honest." Instead of me making up some fancy thing, yeah, we've been doing surveys and we collect data online, and you filled out a form, and and you start making up all kind of stuff to make it sound pretty. Just tell them the truth. So, any other questions out there?
That's great.
We hit the top of the hour?
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you for sharing that info. They'll get this team members as well inside of the back office. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll go into Q&A.